Hello, hello. This is Jason. I'm going to essentially explain the demo for the team of T47 for the Capstone. So I'm going to take you through it. So here we have the login page where we have the email and the password fields for the user to enter the information. So I'm going to take you through the register actually because that's, an extra couple steps that we're going to have to do. So of course we have the register form, where the user will input, their information that they want to create. So let's just say we're gonna have, let's just say John Doe, email John Doe at gmail.com. Password is gonna be John Doe. Password is John. My bad. John Doe. In this page, now we have the profile picture. So this gives the options for the user whether or not they want to upload a picture. So they can do that by clicking pick an image, or they can just use the default picture, which is the image that you see now. It's the white silhouette person with the black background. That's essentially going to be the default. So we're just going to use that, and we're going to click register. And here, it was perfect. It went through. So now we're taken to the section page where essentially the user has the option of going to either the lost and found homepage where it just deals with all things that were founded. So the user lost something today and they want to see if anybody has found it, they're going to go to the lost and found homepage. On the other end, if the user wants to see if anybody put up an item, that maybe the other person's looking to sell, to sell, or they want to lend out, or let's say, for example, let's say someone wants to borrow a calculator for a couple days. They will go to the sell, trade, lend, or the marketplace to see if anybody put up a calculator that they're willing to lend out. So we're gonna just check that out first. And here actually we have pending. Well, I'm gonna get to that in a bit. I'm gonna get to that. So, this is the page that you will see. Obviously it would be pre-filled with more data as the users, as just people develop and the people decide to post more and more. So for now, we just have one post for sale, but it's the same functionality for the other things. But I'm going to talk about the selling, and I'm going to go through the lost and found just to explain that functionality and just show you how it works. So here we have like I said, the sale. Of course, they're categorized, items for sale, items for lending, items for trading. So of course, if we click on the one sale item here, of course, it's going to display the details of the post. Who made the post, what is the post, what item they're trying to sell, what item they're trying to sell. And of course, you have the description, the price of the item they're trying to sell, who posted it, like I've said, and we have the contact poster. So if the user that's currently logged in is not the one who made the post, they will see the contact poster. But let's say, for example, I made this post that I want to just sell these books, I wouldn't see the contact posted because obviously you can't contact yourself. I would see an edit button and a delete button. An edit button obviously is for editing your post. So let's say, for example, instead of $10, I want to make it to $5 because I'm just going to be nice. So it would take you to the edit page. You change the $10 to $5. You save the changes, and it'll automatically update to the $5. And the same functionality for the other things. So let's say the condition is not new. Let's say I've been using it for a while, so it's not as new. I can change that as well. So let's say this is someone else that posted this and I'm interested. So we're gonna, for example, example 02 is just, the testing. We just wanted to test it out. So let's say I've seen this post by example. He's selling books and it seems interesting to me, right? So then I'll click contact poster and it'll take me to this screen. And this screen is essentially the negotiation screen. This would This would be where the conversations happen in terms of how we're going to organize payments, where we're going to meet up and, purchase and like handle this transaction. Because we don't take care of the payment. We leave that to them. We leave that to the parties involved. We're just the matchmaking in a sense. So, obviously I could type a message, hey, and we have the price and the buy button. So for the buy, this is where when the deals are finalized, we went back and forth and we're like, okay, where are we going to handle this? We talked about that payment, we talked about that cash or credit or just online payments. Let's say we talked about all of that, right? So now the deal is done. We got all the information out of the way. I will click buy now. So I'm essentially signaling to the poster that I'm ready, we're good. We can continue this, we're good. So I click that, and now obviously you have the automated message of hi, I'm interested in your post. And now on the other person's side, they're gonna see that the person's actually interested. So we're gonna take you through that right now. So I'm gonna log out here. I'm gonna take you to the poster, which is the example. I hope I'm explaining this properly. So here we have the notifications up here. Gonna click on that. Shows you have a new notifications, and here on the notification screen, we have a couple notification tabs: the chats, the claims, and the completed. So I'm gonna take you through the chats and the claims. That deals with the lost and found. I'm gonna get to that. So obviously here we have the new post or the new notification. So we're gonna click on that. And this is what the poster will see on their screen. So once the non-poster or the person who's interested in the item clicks on the buy button, then the finalized deal will light up. Then it's like, okay, they did their part. Now I'm gonna do my part. We went back and forth and we're good to go. We're going to seal the deal on this. So we're gonna click finalize deal, and here we have a confirmation. Are you sure you want to, mark this post as sold? Are we going to sell this? Are we going to sell this thing? Click yes. Deal's completed. Get a little notification, and in the chat, you have deal marked as complete. So now, we can still continue talking, but the system takes it as okay. This is, the deal's complete here. So yeah, like I said, we continue talking. Let's say we want to just keep talking. We want to just come back to the conversation. Let's say this. That's why the conversation will still be here. So let's say the next day I want to come back to something that we talked about, and let's say we decided to meet at a nearby park. The next day comes, I'm like, oh wait, where are we supposed to meet up again? I can come back to the chat and just search up some nearby park. Perfect. So we go back here. Now the chat is gone from the I'm sorry, the chat is gone from the chats tab, and now it's over to the completed. So this is just a signal for the system, like, okay, they sealed the deal. Now we're gonna move all the completed chats to the completed tab. So now the active ones, or the ones who are still pending or some coming up with a decision, they would be in the chats and the completed. So now we go back to the home screen. We're gonna take you through here. It's off the home page. So now if we're gonna go back to the other person, if I remember this properly, it's John Doe at gmail.com. John Doe. Perfect. So like I said, now the chats for both parties are not in the chats on the active. I should say active. They're not in the active. They're now in the completed. But here's different. So now the person who is interested in the item that's for sale, they can leave a review for the poster. They can actually determine if they did a good job or not. So if I take you through that, you want to leave a review, you know how many stars, so let's say 5 stars. And let's say this person did a good job. Let's say, you know, very nice person. We're gonna submit that. And so now if we go to actually their page, we can actually come over to here. And now this page represents the other person's profile they are viewing. Here you have, the example, you have the trust score, how trustworthy are they? It's a 1 to 5 system, and we just gave them 5 stars. We're the only review they have. So 5 stars, 1 reviews, and the total number of posts that they've made. So I've just made a couple posts for this person. And we have the report button down here. That's just a signal to the admin that, this person is, watch out for their actions, but we're just going to trust that whoever uses our app is going to be, responsible and wants to use the service for good because we really feel like it'll be a beneficial service for a lot of people, just to have like a little app that controls a lot of things, like has a lot of features, a little like 4-in-1 action. Of course, you have the reviews. You can see the reviews, left here. John Doe left a 5-star review. Very nice person. So in case anybody else wants to come make a deal with example O2, they come to the profile like, oh, okay, trust score 5 stars. Let me see the reviews. John Doe says he's a very nice person. Okay, I can trust this person. So that's that. But so it's the same functionality for the lending and the trading. The trading is a little bit different because now we will have to deal with the, what you want to trade. And from what I've said in the class, if you remember, I went through that. So I'm gonna take you through the lost and found, which I feel like is the big one. It's the one where that's where a lot of trust need to come through. So here I just have a post, and now we have a submit claim form. So now let's say we trust or let's say the person who posted this was like, hey, I found this thing. Example O2 found this. And I just took a random picture. I just opened my laptop. So let's just say they found this laptop and like took a picture. You have a description and where location of where it was found. This would be an actual, like a proper place. So let's say me seeing this, my laptop, I'm like, oh yeah, that's my laptop. Let me submit a claim form so the person can actually view it. So the claim form is actually the proof of like, is it actually yours or not? The poster can see, is it actually yours? So we're gonna click submit claim form, and we have this little, questionnaire for the person. We have a when did you lose it, where did you lose it, and describe the item that you're trying to claim. So when did you lose it? Let's say I lost it last week. Let's say last week Monday. Where did you lose it? Let's say I lost it by the gym. Describe the item. Let's say it was a laptop. So let's just say it's a white laptop with a scratch at the bottom. Submit that. So now our claim form is sent to the poster. So now we have to wait until the poster accepts it or rejects it. So now if we go over to the poster's account now, we're gonna come over here. We have a notification, and here we have a claim. So now this is where the claims part comes to action. So the poster can see, oh, John Doe, okay, wants to claim the item that we found. Okay, so we check this out. And here we actually have the approve or reject screen. So now you're viewing the claim form that this person has sent you, like, okay, they lost it about that time. So let's say the example found this, at the same time, at the same place, and it has the same details, like, okay, this is really their person, they described it well. I'm gonna approve of this. And now I'm gonna be taken to the chat. We can start chatting like, hey, you know, um, where do you want to meet up? Blah blah blah. We're gonna start discussing, where can I return it or where can I leave it to? We're gonna just discuss that. So now we go back to the other screen. we're gonna go into John Doe, and we're gonna go into, yeah, like I said, John Doe, notification. Of course, we have the chats. Like I said, this is the active, and it goes for each, active part. So, it could be a selling post, lending post, a trading post, or a lost and found post. And yeah, like I said, we're going to discuss it, and this button is different now. So each, depending on the post, is going to be a different button. So here we have a this is mine button. Now it's just signaling like, oh, this is mine. This is my item. So once we discuss, okay, where are we going to meet up and all that, I mean, to be honest, you can. You don't have to like continue with this, but it'll be better so other people wouldn't have to, see this and think, oh, okay, I can get this up for grabs. So we're signaling to the system, okay, this is taken care of. You can take it down your home page now. So we're gonna click this is mine. Of course, we have a little message here, signaling to the poster. So we're gonna go back to the poster. I hope I'm not making this too complicated or a little too, hard to understand. Come over here to the notifications. You have the little message now. John is ready to get their lost item. Come over here. Like I said, the return button lights up because John, he, clicked this is mine. So we click return. Have you come to the agreement to return this lost item? Gonna click yes. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, so essentially we just have the item returned. And now we can continue talking back and forth, you know what I mean? And that takes you to that part. And what part didn't I explain? We have the profile picture now. I'm sorry, the profile page. And this has essentially, the information, the edit profile, the favorites, the my list, settings, the reviews for you, and the trust score of like, what people are rating you and how many reviews you have. So we come over, let's just do my list. Here we just have the list of things that you made or the list of posts that you've created. And let's check out search. So for the search, now let's say I want to search for something in particular. Here, if I just click search and like I didn't enter anything in, but I just want to see everything in the search column. I mean everything in the cell column. That's what I meant. Here is going to show you, every item if you're not being specific in that specific type of post. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just see all the selling. So maybe I want to see if a certain item was sold. And I'm like, oh, I see mouse here. It was sold. Okay. Of course, you have the specifics, let's say you want to search up mouse in particular. Come over here. It's going to dynamically update to that specific item. And the same functionality here. That was the mouse, obviously. So we have different, places where you can search. If you come over here, do the same thing here. Of course, we can see all the items that were, traded or sold. And of course, it has the status or the status of the item, just in case you want to see something that was already exchanged or something that was already negotiated. The same thing with a lend, same thing with found. And yeah, that's essentially how the search works. Of course, you have the advanced filters. Let's say you want to just specifically look for something that was, let's go to condition. You have these conditions. So let's say we want to get the pen here. Let's say it was barely used. Search this up. Oh, we come over here. Oh, it was sold already. So now we're gonna have to actually come to sold. And yeah, that's essentially how it works. Gonna hide that. And yeah, that's essentially how it is, pretty much. And I'm trying to see what else I can take you through. Yeah, I think I showed you the reviews. And yeah, that's just essentially our project. Now, of course, the home button could take you back and forth through each page or each options. Whether you want to check out the lost and found page, whether you want to check out the marketplace page, you have the options to do that. And yeah, that is essentially our project. We try to make a little matchmaking system where we can connect people with a similar interest. They want to sell something, or they want to lend something. Yeah, that's essentially how we decided we wanted to handle this, and that is essentially the demo for our project.